Hey everyone, Dr. Talley here again with Spero CBD. So today we're going to be looking at the ECS and CBD. So first of all, what exactly does ECS stand for? So it stands for the endocannabinoid system. Now this is a collection of neurotransmitters, which are chemical messengers, as well as receptors that are in our body already. Regardless of whether you've consumed any cannabis or CBD products, this is intrinsic to your own body. Now, there's an abundance of these receptors and chemicals throughout the body, with a predominant amount in the spinal cord, brain, as well as the white blood cells that are part of your immune system. Now, the next question we have is, how does the endocannabinoid system actually work? So imagine your endocannabinoid system is sort of like a conductor for an orchestra. It sort of controls and it has its hand in multiple different areas, augmenting other systems in the body and helping them optimally work. So the things you can think of that the endocannabinoid system has an effect on are regulating our sleep, our mood, helping alleviate stress, as well as pain and inflammation, supporting healthy immunity, as well as playing a role in our memory formation. So an interesting theory that had developed quite a few years ago is something called clinical endocannabinoid deficiency. And what that entails is basically your endocannabinoid system is not working to the proper level. So research for this began in about 2003, and there's been follow-up research since then in 2014 that really looked at these individuals that were deficient in their endocannabinoid system, as well as their making of their endocannabinoids. And what they found was a correlation between people that had a deficiency in this endocannabinoid system, as well as those that were subject to migraines, fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, and a growing list of other chronic medical conditions. So these levels of low endocannabinoids can have a significant effect on several chronic health conditions. So then something interesting to know about the endocannabinoid system is who actually discovered it. So the first person to discover THC and isolate it, as well as CBD at a later date, was Dr. Raphael Mechoulam. And then in 1988, at the St. Louis University School of Medicine, doctors Alan Howlett and William Devane discovered that we actually had these cannabinoid receptors predominantly in the human brain. And while they were conducting their research, they realized that the most abundant neurotransmitter in the brain was from the endocannabinoids. And then later on in their research, they discovered anandamide, which came to be, or was named because of the Sanskrit word ananda, which means blissful joy. So they later discovered that there was a second endocannabinoid called 2-AG. These two endogenous cannabinoids, 2-AG and anandamide, work on our cannabinoid receptors, both 1 and 2. And that's where most of the effects of our endocannabinoids, the things that our own body makes, work in our own body. So why does the endocannabinoid system matter? We've kind of touched on it a little bit. So it does support and maintain homeostasis, brings a balance to ourself and our body. It helps with appetite, digestion, stress, your overall metabolism, as well as immune function. So people often wonder what they can do for supporting the ECS, and that can be by taking things that are exogenous or that come from outside the body. Now, we're still trying to understand the endocannabinoid system, and we're still in the beginning phases of this, with a lot of research going on and into the numerous potential benefits for CBD. Now, how can somebody stimulate the endocannabinoid system? So these are things that should help people with multiple issues anyways, but healthy diet, regular exercise, and then consumption of exogenous cannabinoids from outside of the body. And that can be in the form of CBD. And then in terms of food for the healthy diet, things that are concentrated and have high levels of omega-3 fatty acids. And now that's found in food items such as fish, nuts, and seeds. You can try stress reduction techniques. Anytime you can reduce stress on the body, it allows your body to be more balanced and allows your endocannabinoid system to work better. And then avoiding the chronic exposure to alcohol. So alcohol affects you in two ways. One, it decreases your own production of yourself making the endocannabinoids. And two, it causes a downregulation or a reduced number of the of the cannabinoid receptors. So not only are you making less, but then where that key, if you will, would go fit into the lock, so to speak, the locks are missing. So there's not enough receptors. So the benefits of the endogenous cannabinoid binding to this receptor, it just isn't there when you consume a good amount of alcohol. Now, there is data for increased physical exercise, and there was a study done where they looked at healthy male college students. If they increased their cardiovascular activity by cycling on a stationary bike or a treadmill, achieving a 70 to 80% maximum heart rate for about 50 minutes, they noticed that those individuals had an accelerated production of their own endocannabinoids, so their own system was ramping itself up and working more efficiently. Now, how does CBD affect the endocannabinoid system? So CBD is a phytocannabinoid. That's just a fancy way of saying it's a cannabinoid that comes from a plant, and mainly hemp or cannabis. And this interacts with our CB1 and CB2 receptors in our body, not quite as well as the ones that we make in our own body, but the CBD also has effects on serotonin receptors, which likely plays a role in helping with mood, anxiety, stress, and things like that. So CBD can't get you high, despite people thinking that. There's only small amounts of THC, and in high-quality products that are broad spectrum, is no THC at all. So CBD getting you high is actually one of the biggest misconceptions you'll hear regarding CBD products. Now, if you do live in a state that has recreational marijuana, there might be higher levels of THC in those products, and if that's the case, those will get you high. But across the country, the legal CBD products are supposed to have less than that 0.3% THC, so you shouldn't be getting high from those products. Now, does your body produce cannabinoids? We did discuss this a little bit ago. So we do make our own endocannabinoids, and they have a profound effect on controlling and regulating inflammation. So actually, two dermatologists, Doctors Evelyn Gaffal and Professor Thomas Tuting, demonstrated the role that this endocannabinoid system plays in mice and how much it helped control the inflammatory response. So CBD continues to be very promising with a lot more data coming out, as well as higher quality clinical trials that are ongoing. As we get that information, we'll continue to pass that along to you. Now, feel free to visit our website, sperocbd.com, for more information on educational content, as well as premium CBD products. Now I'm going to go ahead and look through here to see if we have any questions today. I don't see any, but I do see a bunch of people waving, so I'm going to wave back to you all. Thank you for joining me today, and thanks for the support. Feel free to join us. We'll be live again in about 2 weeks, and come with your questions at that time, and I'll see you then. Thanks.